So I can confidently say that Aaron Rodgers won and the Jets won this trade. Now, you started this whole thing off by talking about Aaron Rodgers. You said, okay, this is what Aaron Rodgers said. This is what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. Why aren't we talking about Brian Gutekunst? Like, Brian Gutekunst, you are on the clock. And I'm not talking about the draft starting on Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm talking about you have 9 months to show that the move that you made 3 years ago was worth it. Because 3 years ago to this day, if you actually go back, you would know that one of his first moves, his biggest moves, was giving up a first-round pick for Jordan Love. Do we not remember that? That's what started all of this. So for him to go out there and say, well, I would like to have talked to Aaron Rodgers and work this out with him. No, bro, this is all on you, bro. You got 9 months. You're on the clock. If you don't get this done, if your experiment goes wrong, you are out. And when I say out, he should be out of the NFL for good, especially at the general manager spot. We'll give you a scouting position, but nobody else give him the keys to the whole building. Nobody else let him be the decision maker, because you made the worst decision probably, or I would say a top five worst decisions in all of sports. You don't come in and try to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. He was coming off of 26 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in 2019. You draft him, you give up a first-round pick, and why is that a big deal? Because if you have Aaron Rodgers, go get him help. He needed a corner that year. He needed a safety. He needed a defensive tackle. He needed a linebacker. He needed a playmaker at wide receiver. Help the man out, but you go get a quarterback that's going to sit there. And he sat for 3 years. Jordan Love sat for 3 years. What happened? Aaron Rodgers went back-to-back MVP. Now, last year, 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Not as great as year. Some would say it's his worst year. I would say that. But this is Aaron Rodgers. You don't go out there and do that. So now, not only do you have Jordan Love taking over, but you also have until this spring to make a decision on his 5th-year option, and you haven't even seen him really lead the way. All you saw was last year when Aaron Rodgers was on another wellness retreat somewhere in Hawaii playing the guitar. You had Jordan Love leading the whole offseason. So that's really your sample size with Jordan Love. Yeah. So we can talk all we want about Aaron Rodgers. We can talk all we want about the New York Jets. But let's also make sure that we give Brian Gutekunst his 15 minutes of fame, because this might be it for him. Right. And then a lot of times we sit back and we want to bash players. Like, yo, turn on any network, watch any bloggers. Aaron Rodgers is difficult. Aaron Rodgers wanted this. Aaron Rodgers wanted that. Well, Ashley, let me ask you a question. If you're in a relationship, we like talking about relationships here. You can probably get over on the guy flirting with somebody else. Oh man, the guy's looking. The girl walked by. He did that famous look. You know when the guy's peeking and he's looking, he's flirting. But Ashley, can you get over your guy going out and marrying another lady, starting a whole family? That's what he did with Jordan Love. You drafted him in the first round. You can't get over it. But we want to bash Aaron Rodgers. So, Ashley, maybe you can get over it. But I don't know too many people in the world that can get over somebody going out and starting a whole family.
No, I mean, but I don't know if I get that part, but I think also you can't blame the Packers for starting to think about the future. And that's what they did with Jordan Love. Now, whether or not that was transparent in their conversations with Aaron Rodgers is a different conversation, but this happens. It happened with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. It's happened with quarterbacks throughout the history of the sport. You start thinking about the future. Now, was it a little ahead of the curve? Maybe. They probably didn't need a quarterback at that moment in that specific draft, but it was going to happen eventually. So I don't know if you can really bash the Packers completely for starting that trajectory of, okay, what is life going to look like post Aaron Rodgers? Now you can maybe bash them for the timing of it, but you can't bash them for thinking about it. But in terms of,
but we can bash them though.
I mean,
but we can bash them. Okay, come on, Ashley. Why are you being nice this morning? Yeah, I know what it is. Your Knicks is playing well. You want to be nice. You just came from Mexico. You're feeling better. You had a week down, recovering from the flu. You want to be nice. You really want to give Brian Gutekunst a pass right now?
I'm not giving him a pass. I'm saying that I can't blame an organization who has a 30-something-year-old quarterback for thinking about their future and looking and flirting with a younger QB. I can blame them for, one, the lack of transparency that Aaron Rodgers alluded to when that situation went down, and I can blame them for the timing of it. I think it was premature, but I can't blame them for thinking about life post Aaron Rodgers. It's going to happen eventually. It's here now, and you wanted to go ahead and get ahead of that situation. So I'm not bashing them for that. But I can understand how you don't have that conversation with your quarterback, how that rubs him the wrong way, especially when he's made no, indications that he no longer is wanting to play or is able to play or, has a desire to play. So I can understand both sides of that. But I will say, in terms of who won the trade, which was the question that we started with, I'll say obviously right now the Jets won it. I mean, I think that's the obvious answer. But if the Jets don't win a Super Bowl, then they lost it because you gave up a lot to get a quarterback who's almost 40, who you don't know how much longer he's going to either A, be able to play the game, or B, want to play the game. And let's say, let's play devil's advocate here and say he wakes up next season, he's like, you know what? My passion's not here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. It was a fun season. I tried it. I want to go farm, or I want to go whatever, drink ayahuasca, whatever the heck it's called, and the Andes and things like that. Now you're in a situation where you gave up a lot for a quarterback you no longer have, and it's put your situation, your franchise, in a drastic hole that's going to set you back X amount of years. So they won it immediately, but if they don't go ahead and win and capitalize on Aaron Rodgers' full tenure as their head quarterback or as their new franchise quarterback, their starting quarterback, they lost.
Right.